I've never used the twin needle function before, but you know what? Today is a great day to learn something new.
Lizzie McGuire, you are an outfit repeater.
Summer has literally only just begun, but I'm over it. I'm already over it. I have that summertime sadness in a big way. I am so cranky, and so once again, my solution is to butcher some old clothes. Did you know that you can get seasonal depression in the summer too, not just in the winter? Why are brains like this? Since going outside right now leads to just being eaten alive, let's stay inside and make some alterations to some clothes that have been waiting a very long time for their moment to shine. Alrighty, snip snip. So the first item I'm going to start with is one of the oldest. I've had this in my alterations bin for, oh gosh, I think 4 years. Are you freaking kidding me? This one I think I'm just going to make pajamas out of, which I will probably do another time because that's not really that exciting.
Yeet.
This one, however, I think would be really cute as a loose-fitting button front dress with spaghetti straps. Probably not what my stepdad had in mind when he gave me his old shirts to make clothes out of. On second thought, I think I'm just gonna do the crap ton of seam picking I was trying to avoid. Yeah.
One eternity later.
Now that all the pieces are separated, I'm going to take the body of the shirt and turn it into the body of the dress. First by closing up where the armhole was and just making it part of the side. And then with the excess fabric that I cut off, I'm going to make a couple straps. I think these two pieces that were part of the upper back will work really well to make some straps. And I think that should just about finish it. First item is just about done. All I really need to do is add a little clasp right here at the top. I thought about adding another button, but I don't want to go through making a buttonhole because they're just really annoying to make. But for now, I'm going to put this aside and move on to the next thing. The next thing I want to tackle is this gray rib knit dress that I thrifted back in January. I actually don't dislike it as much as I initially thought I did. It actually looked okay on me, but I know that it's not really my cup of tea and not something that I'm going to wear. So I'm going to split it into a crop top and then a skirt. So really all this should entail is just deciding where to split it, finishing off the hem on the shirt, and creating an elastic waist for the skirt. Hopefully this is as straightforward as I'm thinking it will be, because I'm often wrong about these things. So I was right about this not being quite as straightforward as I hoped. My usual method for sewing knits is not really working this time around. What I'm going to try instead is using my twin needle. I've never used the twin needle function before, but you know what? Today is a great day to learn something new. And then as far as the skirt portion is concerned, I don't think I'm actually going to make a skirt out of it. This type of fabric is wonderful for many things, but not really going to create a style of skirt that I like, at least not in the amount of fabric that I have here. So I think I'm actually just gonna keep this fabric for now. I'm actually gonna use it to do a test with the twin needle before I continue jacking up my crop top, and then I'll just keep it for a potential project in the future because I do really like this fabric. Yeah, let's tackle that and then hopefully I can move on to the next thing. It took me 10 years to just read the manual and figure out what this little hole was for. So I think this is about as good as this one is gonna get. Unfortunately, I definitely cropped it a little too short to begin with because I didn't anticipate having to cut off so much in the process of corrections. The twin needle definitely works. Unfortunately, the fabric was already so stretched out by the time I got around to doing that it is like kind of just flaring out in a lot of different spots. Let me see if I can show you the back. Oh, of course, right now it's not doing it. Oh, if I stand normal there, you can kind of see it. I'm wondering if washing and drying it will help the fabric kind of regain its shape, or I could add a narrow band of elastic all the way around and that would kind of just pull it back into shape. Either way, I'm just gonna move on to the next project because honestly, I just need to for my own sanity. The next thing I want to tackle is another item that has been in my alterations bin for at least 3, if not 4 years. This used to be a dress that my mom gave me, and I had plans to turn it into something else, which is why it's already half chopped up, like the top is just completely missing. But then I abandoned that project, and I've been wanting to turn this fabric into just a pair of little elasticated shorts for the summer. It looks almost like a light wash denim, except it's not denim, so I think it'll be perfect for that. Okay, but why is the pattern piece for the shorts so much bigger for that pattern than it is for this pattern, even though supposedly they're the same size? What? And I think only this one is going to actually be usable with the amount of fabric that I have. Oh my word. Okay. Last night after finishing the shorts, I decided to go back and try to tackle this crop top again. I just really didn't want to leave it the way it was, and I didn't bother filming it because I just needed to get it done. Oftentimes filming my sewing process makes it take twice as long because I have to think about like setting up the camera and making sure I capture each step. So really all I did was just add a band around the bottom. So yes, I ended up having to pick out the twin needle stitch that I did. So I ended up not using the new thing that I learned, but I guess it's good that I learned a new thing anyway. I doubled up the fabric so it's folded over, and then I serged it to the bottom of the crop top. I still need to clean up a few things. Oh, and I also took in the sides a little bit. I think part of the problem was also that there was too much fabric, so I took it in at the sides a bit, added the band around the bottom, and it is so much better. So I'll show you that at the end, but I'm happy I was able to turn this around. And then the last thing I think I'm going to have time to tackle for this video before I need to go into spastic editing mode is this beautiful like watercolor print skirt. I did post a poll on Instagram where I asked you guys which design I should do. I sketched out 2 designs that I was thinking of doing, and the results came back 50-50. That doesn't really solve anything, but thank you for your participation. And in the time that I was waiting for the poll results to come back, it did give me more of a chance to kind of mull over what I wanted to do and think about what is actually feasible with this fabric. So I do think an asymmetrical hem with the ruffle would be absolutely gorgeous, but I think this fabric might not work so well with that design. It's just the way it feels. I don't know if it'll like being gathered and ruffled and all that. So I think I'm just gonna go with the simpler leg slit option because that'll still add another element of interest to this garment. Not that it really needs it. It's so beautiful to begin with. But the first 2 things I need to do are take it in at the waist, and then I need to crop it a little at the bottom. I just want it to be a little bit shorter so that it's more of a midi length and not maxi, and then I will add the leg slit. It looks a little bit like whoever owned this previously made some changes at the zipper. I guess this could be how it was sold, but just something about it to me says personal alterations. So I'm gonna leave the zipper as is and take it in from each side just to maintain the symmetry, and also because I hate messing with zippers. They're just one of my least favorite things to do. The skirt is almost done. I just have a few little things that I need to do, some cleanup things that I'm gonna do by hand, and then I think everything is ready to show you guys. So I will catch you tomorrow for the project parade. I don't know what else to call it, so that's what I'm sticking with for now. Alright guys, that is everything for this round of thrift flips. I feel like this year I'm doing a much better job of actually tackling my pile of things awaiting alterations rather than just staring at them. These two in particular, I cannot believe it took me so long to get around to them. This button-down dress is so cute. I cannot wait to wear this. I think it's going to be really nice for really hot days because of how loose and lightweight it is. It just feels very effortless and cute. The shorts I'm not crazy about just because it's not really a color that I love, but I think these will be a good set of just like casual play shorts. I say play, I really mean working in the garden. The crop top, why did I grab my boobs like that? For the crop top, I am so glad that I didn't just give up, that I thought to try adding a band at the bottom because, oh my gosh, it completely fixed it. Like, now I think the fit is great.
Nice.
So that was a good save. And then the skirt I do like. I'm not as blown away by it as I thought I would be. Part of me was like, maybe I should have done the ruffled design, but also this fabric was very difficult. And I think gathering and ruffling the fabric probably wouldn't have gone over so well. So I think it's more an issue of unrealistic expectations. So this fabric is so just like dreamy and ethereal that I think what comes to mind for me is more of like just a flowing ethereal dress with lots of just layers of fabric, not so much ruffles, just lots of fabric. Obviously, I don't have enough of it to do something like that right now. So a simple skirt is fine. I think the leg slit is still a nice detail and can definitely see myself wearing this throughout the summer. I still think this is really lovely. I'm obsessed with this fabric. But overall, I'd say this was a very successful round of alterations. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're still here, put a little spool of thread emoji in the comments in remembrance of this spool that I completely used up. Rest in peace, my dude. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and subscribe. Bye. Guys, listen, I wasn't built for this. My ancestors mostly come from cold, wet places. I was not built for this. The light is just atrocious right now because
we can't have nice things in the summer.
Well, I royally botched the inside of this. I cut this way too short thinking the pleat line was the seam. Nope, so it's just gonna be ugly inside.